bits and pieces about my journey as I'm with you guys here today. I think you guys have been able to learn a little bit more about me, right? And the reason why I felt like this was such an important thing to do, to spend my Saturday on, because I too have been where you're at, looking for answers, searching for my why, my purpose. Am I doing the right thing? How can I grow? How can I be a better person, a better steward of my gifts? There are times where I doubt myself, right? I've told you that. And let me tell you about this one story of somebody who showed me so much grace. There's a celebrity guest in the building. Let me hear it for that, okay? That WOW Conference has the D.O.C. here in the house. I got a gig last minute, and it was with a whole bunch of celebrities. And I got to that gig, and my job was to get a whole bunch of interviews for a recap video of that event. And I remember going from one person to the other. Hey, how are you? Hey, and everybody is just, I'm in awe of everybody. They're musicians, they are actors, they are models, they're athletes. I'm just like, wow, here I am. And it was at Globe Life Field. It had just opened up for the first time since the pandemic. Remember when 2020 happened and there was like fans in the stands, like they actually had the cardboard people in the stands. So here I am on Globe Life Field, just taking it all in. I'm just amazed at the people that I'm surrounded by. And I remember my photographer says, hey, you gotta get an interview with this guy. And I said, okay, cool. Hey, sir, so why are you here? Who are you supporting? This is you benefiting the veterans. And he's giving him his time. It is not even registering to me that I am speaking to the D.O.C., one of the legends of hip hop. And when I tell you, I left that interview and did you get a picture? Did you do something? I was like, why? I'm like, who? That is not just a celebrity. That is the celebrity of Dallas, Texas. How did you not do that? Oh my gosh, when I tell you, I was so embarrassed. I snuck back over there and I said, sir, I'm so sorry. I felt like I didn't give him the respect that I should have given him. And I said, sir, I hope you don't mind. Can we take a quick selfie? And here I am, a TV reporter. That's like a no-no. You're not supposed to do those things, but I did. I just want to say that man showed me so much grace. And he was just like, are you kidding me? Absolutely. And welcomed me in open arms and gave me a hug, and we took a quick picture. It's probably not even a thought in his mind how big of a deal that was. But for me, again, a lot of people see me on television, they hear my voice on the radio, and there's a lot of times that people come up to me and they get really excited, and I think about the people who I look up to and the grace that they've shown me, and it's always taught me a lesson to always be able to show mercy and give grace and welcome people with open arms. So I'm glad that I'm able to say that to the D.O.C. Please take your attention to the screen. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. You see why I was so embarrassed? It's a huge honor to have the D.O.C. here. So again, please give them a warm, warm Dallas welcome to the D.O.C.
AKA the D.O.C. is well known in the world of hip-hop and West Coast rap for his powerhouse lyrics and collaborations with heavy hitters like Eazy-E, N.W.A., Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. In 1989, a near-fatal car accident changed his life.
And thankful that you guys are here. It's a blessing for me to be here. There's a purpose for me to be here. I know WOW had one. I think God got one too. So I wrote some things down because there's certain things. When I started doing this speaking, I never try to write anything down. I just shoot from the hip because it's a God thing. It's not really a DOC thing. And so whatever he wants you to know, I know he's giving it to you. It ain't me. You know what I mean? But this particular time, I wanted to be really intentional about some of the things that I'm going to say, because these interactions are becoming increasingly more important to me. The value in it is starting to make itself apparent, right? And this movie is sort of the calling card, right? God's grace, right? That's what they said we was at. Walk on water and stay close to the principles. So I'm gonna start with the Lord's Prayer, right? Because it's my earliest memory of God is through that prayer. When I was in West Dallas projects with my grandmother, I don't know, maybe 5, 6-year-old kid, and she cared for her father, who we call Papa, who sounded a lot like I do now, but it wasn't as legible as I am. He was blind by that time. I think he was in his late 90s by that time. But we cleaned him and she fed him and we took care of Papa, And every Sunday that I was over my grandmother's house, we'd be at her kitchen table and everybody would stand around the table and they would repeat the Lord's Prayer. She would say it and then we would say it. Our Father, Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven, And that is my first recollection of God. It is also in that prayer that I found God as a grown man and understood from my perspective where he is, who he is, and what he's doing, right? And that through that, I could let go of the things that were really bothering me that you'll see in that movie. If you guys get a chance to see it, which you should, because it's really a great movie. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It's a great picture for those who believe. But that movie starts, the whole sequence, the whole reason that I'm here in front of you today starts with a prayer that I made on my sister's couch when I was 16 years old. And my mother wanted to send me to the Army because I dropped out of school. I didn't want to, school didn't like me. I didn't like it. One other two. We didn't get along. And as a young African American in this city, you can almost understand that there are pressures in the structure that can drive you away from learning. And that's not even to say that what them folks was teaching you at school was even worth learning a whole lot. But that's another conversation. So it's prayer. And I said, and this is something you'll see in this movie. I said to God that night next to my sister's couch, God, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. And if you will allow me to have this, I promise you that when I get there, I'm going to tell everybody it was you. It wasn't me. And I meant that. Like it was the most sincere prayer, And 18 months after that prayer, next to my sister's couch in West Dallas, I had sold 3 million records. And I was a part of the biggest movement that hip hop had ever seen on the West Coast, right? I was Doc T when I made the prayer. But 18 months later, I was the D.O.C. Okay? Even the picture that I took in front of that album cover, I took that album cover picture in front of a statue of Jesus. And the Globe said, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Now, in my first mind, I saw that statue and in my mind's eye, I'm saying, this is how I'm going to begin my ministry, right? I'm going to show them who got my back. The kids took that to say that I was calling myself the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. They started wearing it on rings, cutting it in their hair, wearing it on their hats, and show business is a dangerous beast, And it didn't take too long before I started to think, well, shit, maybe I am. Excuse my language, folks. Maybe I am the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. The record was released August the 1st, 1989. Close to 750,000 copies in the first 2 weeks. On the 11th, notice all these ones now. It comes out on the 1st. 3 months later, November on the 11th, I have a car accident. The accident takes away my voice and basically ends that career. And then I had to go through 33 years of some real BS to find my way back here to this stage, right? But here's what's so cold about it. That's 33 years of depression, 33 years of alcohol abuse, 33 years of drug abuse, 33 years of trying to get out of here, basically, anywhere I could. But I'm still here. Because there was a purpose. Before, when I was that little 5-year-old praying with my grandmother, that path was already drawn. And so this person's purpose took me those 33 years to get here because it's something I gotta do. It's some folks I gotta talk to, and I'm gonna have to talk to them in a way that I don't sit here and talk to y'all. You know, because G.O.D. gives you a group that you must minister to. There are people made for this lesson I got to give. And these are the kids that we need the most. These are the kids that are suffering in the streets right now without knowledge of, I'm gonna say who they are or whose they are. But this dirty world has confounded them and has confused them the same way it did me. You know, I was thrown off, but now I understand that path was for a purpose, and this voice is for a purpose, and that this voice is infinitely more powerful than the one I had when I was a rapper. It truly is, you know, and this whole 30-year period, I've been trying to find a way to get this voice back so I could get back to this place where I was, right? When people look at me, they don't see me. The reflection that I see is not the person that they see. They see that guy. They have a lot of, the voice doesn't matter to them. They see that dude. They love this dude. You're this, and you are so woo, woo. And like the sister said, when they come in and they give me all of this stuff, they think I'm being humble and gracious, and it may really appear that way, but I don't think I'm anybody different than anybody. We all just trying to make it, right? I got a movie coming out next year, but I don't have anything. What is that gonna do? I mean, you know, it's a movie, that's great. I'm thankful for it. But what I'm more grateful for is life. The opportunity to wake up and see my sons every day. Because I've been in this business next to some really powerful people that were amazing artists that came to this world and did some cold stuff that aren't here anymore. And I bet if you can go on that side and say, well, you know, would you want to be, well, let me take that lie back, I don't know. They might be over there and like, no, you can have it, Doc. We don't want it. We did ours, you do yours, you know. But I say all that to say this. They wanted me to come up and give you some insight about the testimony. And my insight is that I understand and I know that it's God, that it's not me. That there is no good but God. So if it comes out of me, you don't have to give me praise or criticize me. Take it to him. Whether you like what I say or don't, go to him with that. Because coming to me with it is not going to boost me or it's not going to throw me down. I did my time in the dirt. Now I understand who I am, whose I am, and what I'm doing. Business. And this speaks to another one of those points. This is an energy drink. It's called Doc and Cran by Joy Burst. Now, this will hit the stores next year. 6 months ago, I wasn't thinking anything about this. So if you ask me, Doc, how you get a crowd? How did you get an energy drink? I don't know. God said, you're going to need these tools to take into these black communities to get these folks to talk to you. No sugar. Sugar is the devil. It's making you cut your toes off, your hands off, your arms off, your feet off, your toes off, your tongue off. The most that you can get away from sugar, the better it is for you. It's probably a bigger drug than cocaine, and trust me, I did it. So what I'm giving you is the gospel. No sugar is a great thing. And so that's one of the vehicles I use to go into these neighborhoods and talk to people. Get off the sugar as best you can. And I wanted you to understand that I understand and I realize that if this thing sells 20 cans, I brought my boy one. He opened it, took him 2 minutes to drink it. So it must be all right. But my wife is the one that said, I like it. My wife is the taster, So she said, it's good. I said, okay, it's good. And I took it to Peter Johnson's house this morning, and his wife drank it. And she was like, oh, I love these Doc. She said, if you had it, I said, I haven't had it 2 minutes. She said, you got to drink one. If you want me to drink one, you better drink one. So I sat there with and drank one, and there it is. God's gift, Doc and Cran, straight out of West Dallas. Now, and I'm going to wrap up. Well, one of the little girls, I forget her name, was backstage, and she asked me, she said, I'm a rapper. I have aspirations about rap. I want to be, because I'm tired of women objectifying themselves like they do in the music. I want to speak to all of these changes that we need. Do you have any advice? I says to her, whatever it is that is meant for you, no one can keep that from you, not even you. Whatever is possible for you to attain, you can attain it only through one source, because all power comes from one place, right? Somebody said to me the other day, prayer without works is dead. Now, I didn't say this back to this person because although I'm a critical thinker, I'm not a trouble starter. But my first instinct was to say, but without prayer, works is dead also. See, start there. See, start there. And then let God do the rest. See, because if you think you working, if you think that's you that did that, that's where you messed the boat up at. Because it's not until you get off of that you can see what's really going on. And I'm gonna end like this. If I could leave you with anything, know thyself. Know thyself. That is the pathway to knowing who God is. See, because you know when you leave out this building, the evil that you do, you know it. And guess who else know? No matter how good you're dressed, no matter how cool you may seem, you know what you do. And guess who else know? God knows. And when you go to talk to him like I'm talking to you. He loves the conversation. All of those patriarchs in that book, them too, They were the same as I am, the same as you are. One of the things I asked myself when I first started talking is, why would God choose me to get up and want to talk to people about him? But it's the same story in the book. All of those folks that he chose was riches just like me. And my little brother, who was another rich, I don't want to tell y'all his story, but I grew up with this guy. He's not my real brother, but we grew up houses next to each other as children, and we would borrow his mother's car and drive around, and we would talk about God at 12, 13-year-old as kids. Now, when I left after that prayer to go to LA in 1989, he got involved in things that he left Dallas in 1989 to go down south to TDC. And he spent 15 years in and out of that space. And when I tell you that he is a real one, he's a real one. But I don't know a man, never met a man who is as close to God as him. And I know a lot of preachers, I know a lot of good godly folk, but I know that man knows God. And see, it's not in the belief, my friends, it is in the knowing. He knows, and he fed me that book and unlocked it for me so that now I know. And so I don't struggle with my path anymore because I know it's not mine. That whatever is going to become of it, it's his will and not mine. That takes me back to that prayer. Thy will be done on earth. Not my will, not our will, not his will. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That means when you see it here, it's already happened there. It already happened. So what you are doing is living in the manifestation of God's will. He did that. If you can open up yourself and give him that, that's all he asking you for. And once you know yourself, you know hello. Yeah, there we go. And your daddy sister is right there, the rap sister right there. You understand his characteristics because they are in you. You are him. I am him. We are him. We are one. You know, and so what my brother unlocked for me with that book is the second commandment. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Okay? In the mind state that we have as human beings today, that seems impossible. How do I love this person that has done all of these awful and terrible things to me? Unless you can back up off of it and understand it wasn't him, but God in him, that it is all fulfilling a story that was written by the greatest writer of all times, that you can let this person go. Don't mean you got to take them to lunch, but if you hate this person for living out his mission, then don't hate him, hate the person that gave him the mission. Even if you don't agree with it, you don't know what God's, Peter Johnson told me this morning, you don't know where God is taking you. You have no clue. And if you think you do, you're living in a bad dream. Okay? And so, look, I'm not a pastor, and I'm not a minister. Well, maybe a minister. But I'm not going to church, to live up to this thing. I stay in the streets because God loves everybody. He don't just love the folks that's going to get up and come to him. In fact, he loves the people that need him. And those are the people that aren't coming. So I need to go holler at them, you know what I mean? And see if I can do something along those lines to help them realize who they are. similar to Paul when he was walking on that road and he got that light. Now, I don't liken to myself to that light shining on him, but maybe I could talk to one of these little Negroes and make them understand, you know. So who knows? Like I said, it's a G.O.D. thing. It's not a D.O.C. thing. I do everything by God's grace and mercy. It's the reason that I'm up here today. And I understand that, I realize that, I recognize that. This movie that come out, if they give me any money, if they give me any awards or any of this, I'm gonna get up and say to them the same stuff I'm saying to y'all right now. They're gonna be like, this Negro, don't you get, damn, we heard you the first time. Well, you gonna hear me every time, you see? Because I know what happened when you don't do what you're supposed to do. So, that being said, thank you so much for even considering me to come and speak. When I first started rapping as a rapper, and I would come into places and you would hope that all the seats are filled up, right? One of the things that made me know I was meant to do that and I was really good is it didn't matter if it was 2 people right there. I was finna give it to them like everybody was there because I knew who I was and what it was. So I do that today. And in my mind's eye, all God's spirits is in that chair, in them chairs, and they clapping. Well, you gotta do your thing, baby. But just a country boy from West Dallas, you know. But I believe, excuse me, God, I know He is, I am, we are, you know, and all the power is in the people. All the power is in the church. The church is the people. It's not the building. The building will fall. The people will not, if they are fortified, if they understand they can't lose, you know. And I understand that. And I love everybody. I look for everybody. I understand that that there's no new spirits. All the same spirits that have ever existed are still in this room. The same ones, but they all serve a purpose. You know what I mean? I know that there's a Judas in here, but if it wasn't for Judas, there's a Peter in here. You know, so I don't judge myself anymore because I know who it is. I don't judge you anymore because I know who it is. Now it's not easy because I'm just a human being. So if you say something that hit me the wrong way, I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I try to stay holy. I try to keep it humble and stay in understanding. It makes the path easier, you know. And I don't want to kill myself no more. I understand that there's a power in me. I understand that there's a power in me that was put there for a purpose. And there's something really cold-blooded I'm finna do. Because the pain was so deep, then you know what the bounce back got to be. You already know. If He put you all the way down there, guess where you finna go? Yes, sir. And I say that today because it's easy after you've made it up there to say what God is going to do. I'm telling you right now. So when you see it, you'll know I know what I'm talking about. God bless y'all. Thank you for having me.